In this video we're going to be looking at the M12 FMT, which is a multi-tool from Milwaukee. Now this is a 12 volt machine, and some of you who have been following our reviews will know that we've been looking at 18 volt multi-tools so far. So why are we suddenly going to the 12 volt? Well, Milwaukee decided that when we asked them if they wanted to participate in our 18 volt test, they said, you know what we'd really like to do? We'd like to send you the 12 volt and see how that stacks up against the others, because they've got confidence in this machine and they think it will perform, if not quite as well as an 18 volt, then at least near enough. And of course the great advantage of it is, look, it's slim, it's lightweight. It's a very unusual design actually, because the whole thing is in one length, if you like, rather than having a cranked bit up or down. But because of that, I think it's a tool that a lot of people will like, it'll appeal to them. So I'll just show you the way that the blades go on. Pull the lever up at the back and then you have to unscrew this little nut in the middle. Now if you're putting on an OIS blade, which is the one with the open part there, then it will just simply go on in place. And actually they've got some little magnets in there for holding it on. So once you've done that, you just screw that screw back in till it's tight and then lock it with the locking trigger at the back. It's got a nice little LED light on it. It's got a variable speed. It's got an on-off trigger rather than a paddle, so you can hold it at arm's length and cut in. So I think for a lot of plumbers and electricians that would be quite an interesting tool. And of course if you're already running that M12 platform from Milwaukee, then this will be something you'll definitely be interested in. Now having said that, the batteries on this are really tight. I'm not thinking that they all are. I've had this before, I had it once on a Milwaukee tool, and actually all it needed was a little bit of lube in there just to loosen things up a bit. But it's new. They've got some rubber around the back there, which is obviously keeping that battery in there tight, stopping any vibration, and that's probably the reason why it's just that bit tight. It's got a 6 amp hour battery in it. It doesn't look like a 6 amp hour battery, but it is, because most of the battery, as you'll be able to see, is up there inside the handle. That is on a very cheap blade, by the way, as well, but I don't know whether it's the angle of cut that it's got. Maybe it's got more oscillation than some, I don't know, we'll have a look at that. But there's something about that machine, it just shows you it's not all about the voltage, it's about the engineering. So how did the 12 volt tool stand up against the 18 volt tools that we tested? Well, you can find out in our showdown, which is coming up at the end of this series, but let's just look at this one as an individual tool. It's 12 volt and you might be thinking that that's a little bit underpowered, maybe you'd be better off with the 18 volt, but actually we were amazed. Everybody who looked at this machine was blown away by it. They just, my goodness, that really packs a punch. And look at it, look at the slimline, no nonsense shape of it. There's nothing fancy going on there, is there? That's just a very slim looking body, and even this battery that's got this little bit extra on it, you don't need to use that. You can put the other battery in it, which gives you a completely slimline handle. How does it stack up against the 18 volt? Because this was Milwaukee's decision to send us this and not send us their 18 volt, because they were so confident that this would do well in the test. And I think that shows that they got a certain amount of conviction, a certain amount of confidence in the design of this machine, and I think that confidence is not misplaced. But see how it stacks up against those 18 volt machines in our test, where we test 9 machines up against each other.